preparation. You have to prepare yourself to go and meet a customer. Okay, that's what in a crude sense it is. Sales call preparation actually. Okay, preparation is important for any activity in your life. Example, right? Okay, you have to prepare to go to some place. You have to prepare to go for a vacation. You have to prepare to go for some kind of wedding, whatever you want to do. You have to really prepare. Actually, you have to book the ticket, etc., etc. Okay, it's a simple preparation for doing something, right? Okay. Similarly, for the salesperson to meet a customer, you have to really prepare. Okay. When I ask people about are you preparing, everybody invariably says yes, I am preparing. Okay. But when I ask little deeper into how are you preparing, more often than not, I get the feel that they don't prepare. In fact, the answer what I get is that, sir, I know the customer in and out. Like a back of my envelope, I know the customer. I don't need to do anything preparation because it's a customer day in and day out. I'm meeting them actually. So what is that again? Specifically sit and prepare. So nothing. So if it is new customer, maybe yes, but not every single customer. So the question comes is that do you need to prepare for every single customer visit? Okay, as usual, we are more always kind of interactive actually. Can anybody answer this question? Do you need to prepare for every customer visit? Anyone can open your audio and answer.
Yes, sir. This is Sabyasachi. Yes, we need to prepare for every meeting because the agenda of the meeting varies from meeting to meeting. The yesterday or the last week which I met with that particular customer may not be the same agenda for this coming meeting. So we have to prepare according to our agenda, according to our requirement actually.
Anybody else?
Sir, in addition to that, we need to be updated actually, because suppose we made 14 days back or 1 month, 2 months back, so we need to be updated, and the updated means some preparation.
Okay, so for the updation, you need to prepare, you're saying. Okay.
I think, sir, what Mr. Satyajit has told, it is very important to be updated about what exactly your client has requirement, so that you have a very clear agenda how you will be proceeding ahead with things.
Exactly. Very nice. Very nicely put. Anybody else? Do you need to prepare for every visit? See, I know that we have to prepare for some visit. Okay. Now I'm asking about every single visit. Do we need to prepare? I possibly take chance. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, answer is obviously yes.
You need to prepare. Okay.
Yes, sir. Because sir, suppose we are every day going to school or college, so we have to prepare our homework every day. We can't just say every day we are going, so we know the teacher, we know the everything. So that just like that.
But my question is, why do you need to prepare every day? The same customer going every time, once in a week or once in 50 days also. But as you are saying that you have to get updated, no problem. But why do you need to prepare? Aravind Dakshan. Okay.
Sir, meeting, sorry, sir, meeting actually the same customer means suppose I am meeting X customer, but they have different portfolios. Like today I am meeting the X customer for the procurement department. Next time I am meeting the production department, and then in the finance department for collections. So depending upon the nature of the meeting or the agenda of the meeting, we have to prepare ourselves actually.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, you have put my words into my mouth actually. Now, my next question is that, is the goal of every meeting is same or not? I am meeting the customer, or maybe every week I meet the same customer, let's say, for example, okay. Or I meet different customers in the same day also, okay. But is my meeting with a customer, the goal is same or not?
No, not so.
Can you explain how it's not?
Because see, sales is not sales in itself is not only just selling the product and taking this one. We want to build a long-term relationships, and if there is a new product that has come, we want to market other new products that has come, or if there is any other expansion which we are looking for with the customer, that also we can do. So it keeps changing with meeting and with every meeting.
Fine. So that means you are saying that the goal of every, I'm not talking about the content, I'm talking about the goal. Means when you go to a customer, are you clear about what is your goal? Why are you going to the customer?
Yes, sir. We are clear about it.
So can you just give me an idea that what go to a customer? One, definitely for order you are going. Okay. Then what else?
One is order, and second one, if there is any see, order and payment is something which we go regularly. But apart
Yeah.
from that, if we have any other new product which we want to introduce to the customer, so we want to educate the customer on that. Or next time, if there is any problem that is there which we have to mitigate and solve the problem, so we will go with the goal of solving that problem, not
Yeah.
necessarily always order or not necessarily always pay.
Clear. Agreed. So that means every visit of a customer is not the same visit. Maybe the customer is same, but the purpose is.
Correct, sir.
Am I making clear to everybody? The customer may be same, you are the same person, but when you visit a customer, the purpose is not same. Purpose is different. It can be various different. I'll put the presentation, then I'll explain it. But then let me clearly say the basic rule is when you go to a customer, number one, definitely not only for order or payment. Okay, there are many other things you are doing with a customer. Okay, so when you go to a customer, the goal is different. The same customer in different times. And then in a day, different customers will have different goals actually. Okay, customer A, you may be going for orders, B, you may be going for some promotion, C, you may be going for payment, like that, right? Okay. So when your preparation is based on the goal, what you are planning to reach that particular visit. Means every visit need not give you order, but then every visit should give you some output. Agreed?
Yes.
Every visit should give you some output. You can't just simply go and come back. You have to get something done. Something need not be order. It can be a stepping stone for the order actually, right? So we have got certain steps to complete before we get an order from a customer. Okay. So every visit possibly can complete a particular step and moving close to getting an order. Okay. That fulfilling that step is a goal of that particular visit. Okay. Based on that goal, your preparation varies. So your sales call preparation is not same for every single visit. It is different every different visit for the same customer actually. Every single visit it will be different, depends upon the goal. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Completely agree with you, sir.
Yeah. So now let's I'll just put the presentation. Maybe we can. Okay. Now coming back to today's program, the sales call preparation. Those of you joined late, let me give just half a minute glimpse of what we discussed so far. Okay. This Vishwaguru is conducting selling skills training program for the MSME, small and medium scale sales people as well as the distributor teams. Okay, we cover sales process, selling skills, and the selling tools. Okay, so this is the third cycle we are starting from today. The sales process, the first topic what we take is sales call preparation. Okay, we were discussing about why do you need to prepare. Okay, and then the answer came is that we have to get particular job done with the customer. Okay. Then next question comes is that why do you need to prepare every day to every customer? Because the goal of visiting a customer every day is different. It is not the same. It is not simply getting an order. It is much more than that. Okay. Let's discuss that. Oh, I'm just running through. You can also participate the discussions. Okay. The purpose of the visit is the goal. Goal is nothing but the purpose of the visit, right? Okay. To understand the customer, to pitch your offer, first you understand the customer. As we can take it as a new customer. In this case, you can take it as a new customer. To understand the customer, to pitch your offer, to discuss about the sample or trial results. Okay. To negotiate and close the deal, to get the order or payment, to maintain regular business relationship. These are the broad reasons for which you visit a customer. Agreed? And then every visit has got some outcome. You have to get an outcome. There's no point in simply going in customer and say hi, alone, come back. Okay. Every visit has to have an outcome. Now, what is the outcome? Outcome is like this. Expected outcome. For example, when you go to a customer to understand the customer, why do you understand the customer? to get the opportunity to pitch your offer. Because one moment you go first time, understand the customer, and then you get an opportunity to pitch your offer in the next meeting, for example. Okay, that's the idea of the first meeting. Okay. In second meeting, when you go and offer your product, example, to pitch your offer, then you make the customer ask for sample or free trial. It is not you push him for giving a sample. It's not you pushing for taking a trial. You should create the interest in the minds of the customer so that customer opens up and then asks for trial or free sample. That shows the genuinity of the customer actually. Okay. And then the next one is to discuss about the sample and trial results. So the sample given, trial taken. So next third purpose can be to only discuss about the results actually. Okay. See here please be clear. I am putting this purpose because for every purpose I'm going to discuss about the preparation requirement. I'm making clear preparation requirement is different for every purpose. For example, here there are 6 purposes. Okay. For every single purpose, I'm going to discuss about different requirement of preparation. So customer call preparation, sales call preparation is not a single job. It is very different one for every. So you have to be clear about what is a goal for which you are visiting a customer, that particular visit. Okay. And if the goal is clear, then you can prepare accordingly. That's what we are going to discuss now. Here, the 6 purposes. One is to understand the customer. Idea is to get the opportunity to get a pitch your offer. Okay, then you go and pitch your offer, and then make the customer to ask for sample or free trial. Then the sample given or trial taken. Then you go and talk about the trial results and or the sample outcome results. Okay. Then what's outcome? Make the customer to accept the product technical. That means after while discussing, your job is to make him accept the product technically. That's a goal you have to reach on this third kind of visit. See, when I say don't get me wrong, I'm not talking here about 6 visits. I'm talking about 6 steps. Okay. Some case you may even do in 2 steps itself or 3 steps itself. Okay. I'm not saying here you need 6 times you have to go to a customer. I'm not telling that. Please don't get me wrong. I'm only giving a broad kind of goals. Okay. There's some cases you will do in 2 visits itself, everything can be done, for example. Okay. So then make the customer accept product technically. Then afterwards, then you have to negotiate and close the deal, right? You have to negotiate and close the deal. If you negotiate and close the deal, then customer will agree. What is the outcome? Customer will agree for the price offer and place trial order. That's the outcome of the this 4th step actually. Okay. The 5th one is to get the order and the payment, and then regular order will continue. Okay. So that means there are 6 goals. There can be more goals. I'm only putting some broad-based goals. Okay. And then industry-wise, it varies also. Don't get me again wrong that this is only fixed one. No. Based on each goal, there are various preparation steps and requirements are there. So far, so good. Any question on this? Are you with me?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you all with me?
Yes.
I think the steps has been clearly mentioned. All the 6 goals. I think it's very clear, sir.
So that means preparation is important for a customer. Every single customer visit. Okay. Depends upon the goal of the visit. You have to prepare differently. Okay. So goal is broadly divided into six steps, for example. Okay. Each goal, there will be an expected outcome. Okay. Because again, I'm telling you, when you go to a customer, every visit, you must ensure that there is some outcome of the visit. Okay. Outcome need not be order or payment. It can be anything else actually. Any of these, for example, steps actually. Now, now let's go one by one actually. Let's go one by one. Then we'll put the goal and see what type of preparation is required for each goal. Here I'm talking about you're going to a fresh new customer actually. Just for a while, hang with me. It's a new customer you're going actually. Okay. Now to understand the customer, first of all, you have to understand your company and your product you are offering. Okay. I mean, don't laugh at me, because if you say that how can I go to a customer without knowing my company, I can challenge you. There are many cases, many of us don't know fully about our company. Okay, for example, your company's product ranges, or their business activities, or even the financial strength, or the you have this philosophy of the company. There are many things we need to understand about your company much better when you go to a customer. Why do you do that? Because when you do that, at least you avoid, excuse me. When you do that, you avoid coming back and forth. Because when you go to a customer, talk to the customer asks some question, you tend to say that I'll go back to my company and ask and get back to you. I'll ask my boss and get back to you. I'll ask my head office and get back to you. There are many get back to you things will be there. So moment you say get back to you, that means your credibility is taking a dip with the customer. Instead, you prepare yourself well about your company. Again, philosophically, when I don't know about my company, what right I've got to ask about your company? Correct? When customer asks me about my company, if I don't know very well, I cannot ask about the customer in depth, right? So knowing about my company is important even for developing a good conversation with the customer, so that customer opens up and then tell his informations. There are many cases where a salesperson simply go to a customer and talk about, sir, when I say my company, he knows about the point. He say, I've got this point is working like this point is all these things about the point. Okay. So here I'm not talking about the point. I'm talking about what's a turnover of the company, which industries they're operating, what are the product lines, what's the management philosophy. Is there any other there can be many other standings in the market. For example, your company may be awarded as a best kind of manufacturer, seller, whatever. There can be many things. Okay, so more you know about your company, that's a first and starting point of sales call preparation, particularly to understand the customer. Okay, then about your product line, how much your company sell per month. For example, particular point you are going to sell, let's say product A actually, okay. If the customer asks you that how much you are selling, you say I will ask my company. Not possible, right? You must be having this basic information like about your how much you are selling, which customers are using. Maybe not necessarily tell the customer name, but you can tell some idea about north somebody is using, south somebody is using, like that, okay. Which customers started using recently, why, and then competition point, which competition point it has replaced. So these are all the details you should be with you. Not necessary that customer may ask you. Not necessary that you need to give to the customer everything. But then if you are more and more prepared to have this information, your confidence level will go up with the customer. Your conversation will be more robust with the customer, and customer will definitely open up and then give you better and more information. That's the whole idea. So understand the customer, first understand about your company, understand your product offering, etc., etc. Yes, Mr. Dorai, Bangalore. He's raising the hand. Who is this?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Sir, my question to you is, today the sales dynamic has changed completely.
Yeah.
It is for both parties, for us and for the customer. We do not have so much of time to dig out on all these facts. Okay. And more importantly, it is a non-contact sale, or probably we are not seeing the customer physically. It's all happening through email and phone calls. Okay. In such a scenario, I don't know how all these dynamics will be discussed.
Exactly. So good. Ask this question.
Let me complete. And more importantly, I don't know in what sequence or in what dynamics these questions will arise. Today is going to be very, very crisp. The QA session, question and answers, is going to be very, very crisp. One, the customer knows what he wants because he's already done the research on the website or in Google. Okay. Secondly, he's just going to ask you about 2-3 key points. What he wants. I'm only supposed to give the answers only for those because he doesn't have time. So if I'm going to elaborate on all these factors, probably the customer will get irritated. Tell me now, how to go about?
Can I answer?
Yes.
First of all, these things what you are discussing at this moment, it is about your company, not about your customer. Okay. So I'm saying that you should know about your company first. That's what I mean to say, number one. Okay. Number two, I'm not here saying that customer is going to ask you all the questions. Okay. See, it is, you know very well actually, when you prepare, when you want to just give it, I'll tell you. A musician in the stage, when he wants to give a performance of 2 hours at a stretch, he has to practice at home for 6 hours to 8 hours actually. Okay. So preparation does not, if he's going to practice for 1 hour at home, he cannot give a concert for 2 hours in the stage. Okay. Similarly, preparation, maybe you will use only 10% of the preparation. Okay. But what importantly you are going to gain is the confidence level. Okay. Your confidence level. Okay. For you to gain the confidence, you have to prepare. More and more you prepare, more and more you will be confident, more and more, in fact, you will be crisp to answer the question of the customer. See, because yes, I agree with you, because the customer is going to be very, very sharp, crisp, etc., etc. Okay. The way in which he has done the research with whichever way, you also must be doing the research, right? That's what we are discussing here. Okay. So no longer you can simply say that I got a poet XYZ, I'm just sending a mail with the price. Okay. Customer says, give me a sample or give me some 1 kilo. That's not going to work actually. Okay. Because I'm saying that is actually executing part. That's actually executing part. Okay. But then basic preparation, you have to do it. There is no second thought about having prepared or not having prepared. You have to be prepared.
See, definitely when you're going for a call. Yeah.
Pardon?
Definitely when we are going for a call, I think we are definitely having at least, if not in depth, I would say about 80% of the knowledge about the company, the business, what we do, and the customers using our products.
That's what Mr. Dore actually, as I mentioned, no, every salesperson, including me, in fact, I used to always feel that we know about the customer very well. Okay. And we don't spend the time analyzing about the particular customer, regular customer, every day. Don't do that. Okay. But then if you do well, your success rate increases. That's what I'm saying. You can still be successful if you don't do also. Okay. The rate of success will be definitely lesser actually. What to ask from the customer? We see this, please understand, these are all some looks like a basic details. Okay. But you have to ask your conscience, are you really getting this kind of in-depth discussion with the customer or not? If not, please do. If you are doing, nothing like it actually. Don't worry about, if you feel that it is all some basics, don't worry about that. Okay. Because why I'm putting here basically is reason this very simple. Even though preparation is very important, most of us do not really prepare well. Better you prepared, better you are successful. That's what I keep saying. So what business they are in, what break up the local or the quality requirements, buyer, because these are all basic important information required for negotiating and closing a deal with a better price. Okay. You will always say that customer is asking for lower and lower price, asking for more and more discount actually, or he says competition is whatever actually. Okay. But then if you just look back, these your confidence of defending your product, your performance, the price, etc., really comes out of your preparation. Okay. For example, if you know the customer's quality requirement, okay, if your product is matching the required quality of the customer, if vis-a-vis the competition actually, you can confidently put forward your case, right? So what is the management philosophy? What is the decision-making matrix? Because many times you are knocking the head on a wrong person and then saying that the customer takes long time to decide actually. Okay. Maybe that is not the right decision maker. So what's the decision-making matrix of the customer and which competition is strong? That details you are already doing it. But then I am here to talk about the in-depth analysis actually. Okay. And this is very important. So once you have done this basic understanding about your company, about the customer, what you're going to ask the customer, okay, you meet the customer, take the details, and then next one you go to the to pitch your offer. You are going to meet the customer to pitch your offer. Now you are saying, for example, if you online, email, etc., etc. Okay, then only the communication medium is different. Only the communication medium is different. The transactions are almost same, nothing different. Okay. Example, which product now to pitch your offer, you have to be clear about which product suits to the customer's requirement. Okay. Here I'm not talking about you have to, I'm not saying that you have to decide which product you have to sell. Here I'm not talking about which sell. I'm only talking about which product will suit the customer requirement. Because by understanding the customer, you must have decided the customer requires product of yours to solve some of his burning problem, right? So if you are clear about that, then you can pitch according to the right product. Okay. Otherwise, what happens is that you keep on pitching whatever products. Okay. Customer say, just for courtesy sake, please send me a sample, and he will not respond at all. Or he will waste of time, or he will ask for some very ridiculous price. Okay, just to throw you out. So how your product is better than the one what they are using it? Your price offers is not the final price. Your price offer, cost benefit analysis. Actually, if you are clear about that, at least you can be sure the customer is going to be benefited out of your product. Other terms and conditions, be ready with the other terms and conditions. Also supply situation and technical activities, what you will be doing to the customer. Okay. These are the basic information. See, because when I'm saying, as I said, that your goal of visit is going to get the to pitch your offer, you have to prepare these things. The previous preparation, if you do it, if you don't do this preparation, this particular goal will not be reached, right? Also, when you are not prepared, make it a point that you don't visit, or at least get postpone the visit, something like that, because there's no point in going off baked and then try to just manage somehow with the customer. For example, if you are not clear about what is your price offer, if you are not clear about what is the cost benefit analysis for the customer, okay, be thorough before going to the customer. Then once you are given the offer, customer is excited with the offer, with your offer, and then he says that give me a sample or come and take a trial, whatever actually. Okay, once you do that, once that is done, then you go there to the customer to discuss about the. Now again, you can ask me a question that's in this situation, there is a customer is not allowing me to come inside actually. Okay. If the customer is not allowed to come inside, he's not going to allow to come anybody inside for that matter, right? That means it is same for all your competition actually. Dynamics have changed, I agree. I'm not saying the dynamics have not changed, okay? But the basic rule of the game has not changed. For example, customer will buy only when he needs the material, right? Okay. You will know only when you understand the customer, why does he need the material, okay? And then for which you should need to know about your product performance, etc., okay? And if you're going to give a clear-cut kind of your offer to the customer, even if it's a crisp and sharp offer you want to make it, you should be clear about how your product is different or better than the competition in terms of performance as well as the price. So once the trial results are done, actually, then cost benefit analysis based on the trial results, answer for the customer's anticipated query. Then because again, what happened, the customer, you have to anticipate what questions customer is going to ask and then get yourself prepared for answering. Because many times what happens is that when you go to a customer thinking that he is going to kind of agree for the trial results or whatever, actually, you'll ask some questions. You may not be clear and sure about what to answer. So what I used to do, in fact, this is a simple, easy way of doing it. In your office, if you got your colleague or boss over actually, okay, have a sort of mock discussion and then try to see whether you can convince your colleague first, actually, before going to a customer to do that. Okay, your colleague can throw some kind of doubts, etc., so that you are clear about what questions, probable questions customer can ask. You can be prepared with the answer, actually. The customer is not happy with the result, then what's the alternate solution? Recipe modification, provide market feedback about the product performance, or additional benefit you can. So eventually, your customer has to have some value addition, which is going to use it with his customer. Okay. So are you clear about all these things before going for discussing the sample or trial results? When you're going to go only talk about your trial result, for example, absorbency has come or whiteness has come, etc., etc. Okay, that may be there, but then eventually what will happen? You will be caught up in some of these factors actually. Okay, so you must be clear about the cost benefit analysis, and then you must be clear about which kind of customers are already using it and gaining benefited actually, and then what value addition he can provide to his customers. Okay, these are things actually possibly will make your this visit, this particular goal reached properly. Any questions? Please open up. Any questions?
Sir, what do you mean by additional benefit? What
Additional
additional
benefit?
benefit?
See, I'll tell you. For example, additional benefit means suppose you are selling, say, let me use a textile thing actually. Okay, using a wetting agent for wetting purpose, let's say. Okay.
Okay.
But the same product possibly can give some better cleaning or better soaping or whatever like that. Okay. The purpose for pitching the product.
Apart from
Suppose the
that,
product
additional.
gives you some other benefit than the one what for your pitching. That's additional benefit.
Oh, understood. Okay, sir.
But value addition here, I'm talking about value, what value to add to his end product.
Yeah,
His end
understood.
product is for 100 rupees. Okay, by using your chemical, he can sell it for 105 rupees. That's a value addition.
Yeah, understood, sir.
Hello, I have a
Good.
suggestion here.
Good.
What I would prefer is, I think definitely all these points are very valid. More importantly, we also need to identify the gap areas of the customer. Where is the exact gap? What is he struggling with? If I'm able to unplug the gap, if I'm able to provide a solution for the existing problem,
Absolutely.
I would rather say that will be more appreciated, and surrounding that solution, the price will not be a big matter for the customer to
Absolutely.
take. All,
Absolutely.
the leakage is quite high for him.
Absolutely. Well said. This is what exactly we are doing while understanding the customer. Maybe you have missed the point. 1 minute. Let me go back. See, what happens is that when you talk about what is the quality requirement, okay, and then while pitching into that, see here I'm not talking about step by step going deeper, okay, I'm just making a very broad kind of statements, okay. When you talk about the quality requirement, they say, for example, they want to get a fastness of, let's say, rubbing fastness of 4, okay, and then you can pitch in and see that how they are getting now. They are getting only 3, they are not getting 4, for example, okay. Then you can say that my product can give you a better whatever like that. So while discussing, you identify the gap, okay, and then pitch your point. I fully agree with you. That's how it is actually, okay. So that is a part of understanding the customer. So before putting the pitch, before pitching your offer, you have to understand the customer. Understanding customer, understanding the gap is very, very important kind of step in that. Thank you very much. That's very important. Maybe the discussions I missed it actually. That's very important to understand that without knowing the gap of the customer, you are not going to offer the product.
Sir, hello. Sir, I just have one question. See, most of this question we would have completed in the homework which we do about a customer. Before we go to a customer, we do the homework about what the customer is in, what in this one. So is it still necessary for us to ask him again after we know?
See, it is like this. If you know, nothing like it. But many times what happens, again, I'm telling you actually, if you think no, you have to really double check the customer.
Okay.
Actually, it may be old information, or it may be information also. Okay.
Yeah, understood.
So it is better to check with the customer, but again, checking need not be directly asking a question. Nobody, you can't ask a customer that are you.
I understood that point. Yeah. Observing also makes sense. Yeah.
Better way of doing it. Okay. But I'm only saying that let it be a part of what happens is that all of us are doing some preparation are there. Okay. Here yes. I'm only because since you don't have enough time to prepare, okay, we go unprepared to the customer. Okay. When I say unprepared, back of your mind, you have a lot of ideas, information, etc. Okay. But then you are not clear about what is the goal for which you are going. You are not preparing according to that goal something. For example, when you go for negotiation, you have to prepare for the negotiation.
Correct.
During the negotiation meeting, you cannot talk about some technical discussions. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes. Sir.
In fact, this is one of the thing of the customer. The customer take you technically.
Understand that point.
When you go for technical, when I say negotiate and close, okay. Now you talk about all these things. Here in the negotiation time, if you are going to talk about technical performance of your product, it is not correct. You must have done it already. You must have got the approval from the customer already about your product performance or technical performance while going for negotiation. Okay. So during negotiation, you have to focus on other things than the product performance, pH, etc., etc. Actually, okay. Not even the price for that matter. Okay. Offer price, I'm saying. You have to finalize the price, but you can't offer the price again during negotiation time, actually. So during negotiation close, what you prepare for negotiation. So I am going today to a customer to negotiate and close. Okay. What I will prepare. Here I'm not going to prepare about technical understanding, etc., etc. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to first understand what is the position of the negotiator. Position, what I say is a purchase manager or a chief executive, etc., etc. Actually, okay. Then what is his decision matrix? You must have done already, right? Okay, you can identify that what level he is. Okay. What is the emotional quotient of the negotiator? Whether he is aggressive person, amiable person, you can take faster decisions, you can sit on the decision. So you have to understand about that person, right? And then how important your product to the customer. The customer, is it your product is important because he is having a problem? You have your gap, you have analyzed, actually you identified the gap. You are offering a product. So how important your product to the customer? Okay, is he going to starve? Is he going to be struggling with this in production because the product is not going to be there? Okay, what happened to the present supplier? Whether it is present supplier product is not performing or is not supplying or is increased the price, etc., etc. And then what is the best alternative? Suppose if you are going to reject, for example, you say 100, customer say give me 90, you say not possible at all, I will not come down the price. Will the customer still buy from you or will not buy from you? If he doesn't buy from you, what will happen to his production? Whether its production will continue or as he got the alternative, or he will definitely have to buy from you with a nominal reduction of 1 or 2 rupees. This clarity has to be, these are the things very importantly required, prepared while going for negotiation and close. Whereas other things, you can still do it. We don't have time. You can't go without preparing all these at least 8 points. How important this business is to your company? Because sometimes what happens, it may be a package. If one point, if you lose the entire package. So how important it is? Okay. Up to what level you can go in the price, go down, for example, obviously. Those things have to be clear. You can't go back and you can't tell the customer, sir, I'll go back and get back to you. The worst thing a customer wish to hear is that, sir, I will go back and get back to you. You have to be clear before going to negotiation that up to what is the bottom and things like that. Okay. Or what are other incentives you can offer to the customers? So it can be like bundling, it can be some maybe free transportation, it can be whatever actually, any other incentives, even sometime payment terms, something like that. Okay, all these things. So preparation to meet a customer, to negotiate and close, you have to do all these preparations.
Sir, I would like to add a point here, if you allow me to.
May I know, who is speaking? Sorry, I'm not getting the name here.
This is Durai.
Okay, Durai, please go ahead.
You mentioned about the emotional quotient of the negotiator.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you go to an account, there will be no one person who will negotiate with you. It all depends on the nature of the buyer. For example, when you go to IT person, who is kind of a person who is going to allow you inside. If you are selling a technical product, he is the one who is going to allow you inside the company by screening with all the technical features. Okay.
Yeah.
With them, when you negotiate, it is going to be more of a technical negotiation. There he is going to gauge you based on your technical skill sets.
Yeah.
Because your wavelength and the customer's wavelength has to match.
Yeah.
Right. Second, when you go to the user, he's also a very important buyer for you, because he's the one who is actually going to use your product. For him, when you're going to talk to me, you're going to talk to more about the features, the benefit, what you will get by using our products, so that
Yeah.
his daily work does not get affected at all, and he can go home little earlier.
Yeah.
There will be peace of mind. So in that way, there's going to be different kind of negotiation. When you go to the economic buyer, the man who has got the power to buy the machine or buy
Yeah.
the product, he has
Yeah.
got the money, authority, and need. He's called the man.
Yeah.
There, it is going to be totally different. There, he's going to gauge you based on your in-depth knowledge about the overall scenario of the market, not only about your product.
Yeah.
So there, it is going to be more of a top-notch discussion.
Yeah.
There, if you're able to meet his expectation in terms of the knowledge level of the overall market,
Yeah.
then probably he's going to respect you more. Then the chances of you getting a better price is much, much higher.
Yeah.
If you're going to start with only price, then probably within 2-3 seconds, you will be shown the door.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is like this, the decision-making matrix, when you do prepare for a customer, you will know clearly that which person is, for example, responsible, and then which person is a final decision maker. Okay. That is why I'm saying that actually when you offer a price, naturally you will not offer the final price to anybody. You will only offer the final price to the final decision maker, for example. Okay. Here, when we talk about negotiation, negotiation is basically for the price. Typically, it's for the price actually. Here, I'm not talking about product specification. That's all previously done, for example. Okay. So here, negotiation means negotiate with the decision maker on the price or any commercial terms and close it actually. Okay. It's a final decision maker. That's what I mean to say here. And then finally, when you get the order and the payment, even to go to a customer to get an order and payment, you have to prepare certain things. Okay, what are things to prepare? Know about the latest supply situation. You may go. It happened to me earlier during early part of my career. I go and ask for order. Customer was shouting at me because his previous order, pending order, was not supplied still. Okay. So it makes no sense, because it happens many times. You just skip from your mind, okay, because too many customers, okay. You end up just going to a customer, ask for order, but then what about the previous order, for example? Okay. So you have to be clear about also one more thing. When you just get an order from the customer, giving some promise saying that I will deliver it, let's say next week, okay. When you come back to the office, you learn that it will take 1 month to get the material, for example. So before going for even to get an order or payment, you must be clear about what is the latest supply situation, what is the availability in packing and supply locations, okay, what are the anticipated shortages. For example, why I'm saying that, first time when you get an order from the customer, okay, and then the second order, if you're going to say that it will take 2 months to get the order material, okay, then you will get pissed off. Instead, you better tell the customer right away, saying that, sir, I'll supply you the first order, but the next one will take little time because we have to supply chain has to streamline. Something you can tell, but then you should be knowing that. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Also, any anticipated price change, because you can't. It happened many times. First, the customer you get the order, and next order you go and tell there's a price increase, for example. So nobody will like it. Nobody will like it. You will lose the trust with the customer. Okay. So better to upfront tell the customer that there is a possibility of price increase, but I am at least maintaining this order at a lower price, whatever. Understand from the customer the point from this, again, very important point number 5. Many a times we all go and sell a product, and then we, okay, definitely we'll focus on order and payment, and then we'll ask for further material. But then what about that performance of the product? Is he using the same way for which you have mentioned? For example, I can tell you in textiles, actually, when you sell a wetting agent, let's say, I promote it for using it for 1 gram per liter. Okay. He may be using for 2 gram per liter because he is not getting the proper results. Okay. After some time, I'll go and ask him. He say, you are very costly. Then I ask him why and how. He said, because it consumes too much of quantity actually. Okay. So instead of, many a time salesperson is hesitating to ask the customer about the performance because fearing that customer may tell some problem, fearing that customer may say that it's not working, please take it away. Because of that, there's no point in closing it down. You have to really open up and understand from the customer whether the product is really performing, the way in which, the purpose for which you have launched, the way in which you ask him to use, the recipe or the dosage in which you ask him to use, actually, all things you have to be clear, or keep asking him and then update yourself. That's very important. Also, if you talk to the customer, you can understand the competition reaction, how the competition is reacting now. This because from the market you come to know actually the competition is also moving very far. They're introducing a new product to counter your product, etc., etc. Okay, all these things are you have to prepare even while going and asking for order or payment. Then finally, to maintain business relationship. See, there are cases where some people say that I'm going to customer. Sometimes you want to just to maintain relationship. Good, very good. You should maintain relationship. I'm not saying that we should go, but that is also a goal actually to maintain a good relationship. But then even to do that, you have to prepare. What do you prepare? Here in this case comes your macroeconomic situation, for example, currency situation or your export import, whatever situation, all these things you should be from economic times you can read and then be prepared, because sometimes you become a kind of, we always say that customer is well informed, Google is there for him to do everything. But then there are some people who are not that, they are sometimes lazy actually, lazy to know, because if, for example, your oil price increase or decrease, how it's going to affect the supply or the product price and things like that. These things you should be fair aware. You have a better chance to negotiate. I mean, they talk to the customer in the level which customer likes you to do that. Actually, it's more of, it is easy to get in line with the customer's thinking if you are better informed. And the current dynamic, your value chain, if you should know the value chain. For example, you are selling a chemical, you should know that where from it is made, whether it is made from the petroleum point or from natural resources, etc., etc. All these things if you are aware, if you know the value chain, if you know the price movement of the value chain, these are additional information for you, because please be clear. Every customer will want to be a good relationship with somebody who knows more information or better information. Okay. Again, I'm saying Google is there definitely. You can, for you also it's only Google. That's a different thing. But then somebody has to do it with search the Google, na? Not everybody does it. Not everybody does it actually. So here I'm saying, when I say prepare, when saying please do with the Google also. I'm not saying that to go to some government agency and get it actually. And what are the activities of your customers' competitors? Just motamoti you can get an idea that which you can use it during the discussion with the customer. And about the customer market news, about the customer good news. Naturally, no customer would like to hear the bad news. Okay, so something good is everybody is talking about. You can use it as a kind of motivating thing for the customer. And whether the customer has done any one recent awards, whatever, these are information you can kind of make use of it. Any exhibition they have participated, and also finally any personal milestones for the person. With the person, for example, his children must have graduated or some details actually. So if you are aware about these things, okay, when you sit and talk to the customer, you can strike a very good deal with him, and then your relationship will build like anything. Naturally, that's a real basis for all other successes in your sales calls. Okay. So any questions? I think I've just covered all these 6 goals, and each goal I have just mentioned certain key preparation requirements. Okay. I am saying that this is not the exhaustive list. Okay. You can really put, somebody mentioned a lot of gaps maybe there, you can put all the more information, but the crux of the matter is that go prepared to any visit, any customer, and then every visit has to have a clear-cut goal for which why you are going. Okay, based on the goal, your preparation varies, and then your details of preparation varies. Okay. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
I am Devarajan.
Yeah, go ahead.
All the end users always
Yeah.
say your price is very high, sir.
Correct.
Common one. Sir,
Correct.
if they were giving, I am buying at 50 rupees, 40 rupees, 60 rupees.
Yeah.
How we will
Correct.
react at that time, sir?
Correct. See, price is very high. Okay. Depends upon the time when you see, because this is a basically objection. We have done a couple of even webinars on this objection itself, customer objection. The major objection is the price is very high. Okay. But then when does he tell the price is very high? As soon as you go inside, or after hearing everything, and then finally he says, because you have to be clear about whether customer is interested in buying or not. Okay. Whether customer is understanding the need of your product or not. Okay. Or whether your product is going to solve his problem or not. Okay. So there are many things you have to answer yourself before even saying that price is high or not actually. Okay. But then I agree, every single customer, even if you are a customer, if I am a customer, the first thing I will say, your price is very high. Okay. That is how that's a negotiating or the transacting kind of point actually. Okay. It is not, customer doesn't mean that. Customer is just putting, so when the customer says your price is high, he is expecting you to convince him, why should you pay that price? Devarajan.
Okay, sir.
Is it understandable? When the customer says the price is high, he is expecting you to convince him, why should he pay that price to your product? Then whose job is to do that, to convincing? Our job to do convincing, right?
Yes, sir.
And for which you have to prepare all these things.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good, very nice. Any questions? So I think I have come to the end of the session. Sales call preparation. I find at last time I repeat, it's very important to prepare for every customer visit. Okay. Every customer visit, whether a regular customer, known customer, new customer, etc., etc. Okay. Every customer visit has got a different goal. Okay. Based on the goal, you have to have a different type of preparation. Okay. That we discussed here step by step. Okay. And then if you are prepared well for that particular visit, your outcome will be successful. Okay. Here now with this new situation, new change in dynamic situation where customer visits are restricted, you have more of email or online transactions. Okay. Again, preparation is very important because with less limited time, with limited exposure, you have to convince the customer. Naturally, you have to be razor sharp to do that. Okay. Yeah, please. Who is raising their hands? Please go ahead.
Good morning, Ramesh. Sandeep this side.
Good morning. Go ahead, Sandeep. How are you?
Fine, Ramesh. To further add to what you have conveyed and Mr. Durai was asking, I think if we compare the sales call with the game of cricket, I think the format has changed, but the preparation for the game is same. Now you have to achieve much more within a 2020 match rather than playing a 5-day match. So you have to be on the top of your game, as he was rightly pointing out that now we have only virtual calls or on email we have to communicate and all those things. So understanding the customer is slightly more difficult now, but the preparation is required as you have conveyed in your format. Yeah.
Very, thank you so much, Sandeep. Thank you so much for giving this input. Okay, very good analogy. In fact, now this 2020, okay, your success and failure rates are very high. Okay, so your preparation is all the more important. You can't make mistakes now, actually, right? Earlier, yeah, when you are right, when you can afford to go to customer 100 times also, okay. First time you don't make it, you can go again to understand the customer. Okay, understanding customer, you don't need to do. So you can visit as many times. Today, since you're not allowed to visit, your preparation is much more important today than earlier days. Thanks, Sandeep.
Yeah, I totally agree with both the gentlemen here. But then,
Ramesh,
yeah, but then the total approach has changed. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, in a 5-day match, they look at your techniques, the way you bring your front foot, then drive the ball, the way you glance the ball. They're looking at class. But today, it is totally changed in the 2020 match, right? You require only the runs. It doesn't matter how it comes.
No, but hello. But in this also, I think the preparation is very, very important because only those people who have practiced a lot behind the scene before the match on their skills will be able to perform because you have to do it in 20 years. So
exactly,
the pressure is on you.
Exactly. So better the prepare.
I agree. What I'm saying is the preparation varies for a 5-day match and for a 20-20 over match, correct? You hardly get 4 hours to bet. You don't get 5 days to
Absolutely.
bet. So in that short time, you need to see what you can maximize. Do you agree with this point?
Mr. Dora,
You
it
are,
is like
hello.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
are
go on.
talking about the outcome. I am talking about the practice
Absolutely.
which goes
What do a
beforehand.
salesman,
actually.
what do a salesman end of the day look at? His outcome, right? How much
No,
revenue
but
has he achieved?
you have to prepare at the back end first, and only then the results will come.
We don't mind how it comes. We end of the day look at the balance sheet. What is the margin we have garnered, right?
See, Mr. Dora, it is like this. You are actually right, because that is why we are doing so much of taking efforts to discuss. The reason is that we are all, carried away with the end outcome, okay? Because of the pressure of getting something done, okay? We all keep forgetting the path on which we have to walk through, actually, okay? Definitely, may not be the exactly same methodology, but you have to prepare. Without preparation, even if you want to send an email, let's say, you want to send an email, just sit, prepare, and then make an email. Don't simply put something what in your back of mind and then on the email. Okay?
You're right. That goes without saying. Without preparation.
So that's not preparation. So preparation doesn't
mean
mean
out of house without preparing. Even if you're going for marketing some grocery item, you still get prepared with your list ready in hand, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it goes without saying. What I'm saying is the dynamics of the market has changed completely. So the primitive way of thinking, the primitive way of thinking about the market has to change. That's my only submission. That's all. I'm not saying without preparation we can achieve all our goals. No.
Anyway, you guys
to understand what our goal is, we need to pen down. What is it I want to do? The goal setting itself is a big exercise.
Which goal setting, sir?
Any goal setting is itself a big exercise. There are so many points before you set a goal. So is it achievable? Is it aimable? Or so many questions will come. Then finally you arrive at a goal. So on the whole, what I'm saying is all this is fine, but the thinking has to change. That's all.
Mr. Dore, actually, let me conclude by saying that actually, possibly you can go through this a little. Maybe you have not understood certain points actually. Okay, the things are very clear that these are the basic, the requirements of any sales call. Okay, whether you do it physically, remotely, whatever. Actually, you have to do these are the basic requirements. Okay. There is nothing is changing. Business has not changed. Okay. Sale has not changed. Actually, your payment has not changed. Nothing has changed. Okay. Only your physical visit has changed. That's all. So everything else is remaining there. Competition is there. Your competition performance is there. Price is there. Comparison is there. Nothing has changed. Okay. So possibly what we will do is that we'll conclude is that actually for the sales call preparation, see, when possibly you are getting wrong with this call, the word call actually, okay. When they call, it need not be physical call. It can be phone call also, okay. So for the sales call preparation, these are the required basic requirements actually. One can always modify according to your product, your market, your geography, your method, etc., etc. Okay. Anything else?
Ramesh,
Yeah,
today's talk, the salient point being that you have a trial with your colleague regarding the product marketing. That's an excellent point. Yeah, many people do it. That point is very good. Even for 2 days, in the computer age, it will be much better. You can do it at home with your colleague and then go to the customer. So you can very easily, you can penetrate. That's our experience. It's a very good point. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So that's the idea. And instead of going, see what happens is that we all, that's why again, when somebody wants to perform in a stage, they do a lot of practice at home. Okay. But for a salesman, never practice at home, right? We always go to the customer and then do all the practices there. Make mistakes.
It's a very good point. Yeah.
Very costly mistakes we do it actually with the customer.
Correct.
So companies should encourage their employees to have a kind of role plays within their organization, and then make that kind of thing go prepared to the customer.
They can have a group discussion like something like that. That will be also better. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. Very good. Very good. Thank you so much. Anything else? Can we conclude?
Yeah, we can conclude. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we can conclude. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for joining and then participating. Really, I'm honored. Maybe next week we'll again meet actually for the next topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh. Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful session. It was
Thank you,
indeed
sir.
very, very informative. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.